Hola, buenos días. Well, me siento bien. Welcome to Easter FC. I'm a Madrid fan, if you couldn't tell by the jersey on my chest and the flag behind my head. Today we played against Sevilla FC. I wanted to do a little bit of a reactionary video, a little bit of an analysis to provide some of the content that I wish people were making, that I'm looking for. Be the products you want to see in this world. And I just wanted to acknowledge some of the things I saw today to save my wife an earful, because she's been getting it every single week. Especially this season after the Champions League, we're the holders and things have been shaky. We all know that, but I thought I'd get on here halfway through the season and maybe try and get some momentum and start making these videos. But anyway, to the game, what really caught my eye when I was looking at the Sevilla spread, lineup, whatever you want to call it, team sheet, was that they had Juanlu playing up in this interesting forward role where he's pressing our defense. He's a right back. And they've got him pressing us up at the front of the pitch while we're trying to work the ball out of the back. And that was a really interesting aspect of how they lined up. Not too much to say in terms of who they decided. I mean, Sambi was a shock, but he was poor, for being honest. On the Madrid front, just looking at this back four, before the game, all the analysts are talking about how, well, these flanks are clearly the weaknesses in the Madrid defense, which I agree with in terms of Lord Vasquez. Is that true with Camavinga now? Is that just is that still just like a fact to be accepted that he's not good on defense? I don't know. I think he's mature. Like, I feel like he has matured greatly as a player. He used to just fly into these slide tackles, fly into these haphazard one-footers, studs up. I love him as a defensive component now. I mean, he's such a pesky, meddling player. No one wants to play against him. I would be hard-pressed to believe that there's people out there that are seeing Camavinga and they're licking their lips. Obviously, Ceballos and Valverde in the midfield. Ceballos, it's a hilarious case. We all know he's a Betis boy, wants to go back one day. Is he asking to play against Sevilla? Because I know he's been getting a run of games, whatever. Even last season, it seems like he plays against either Betis or Sevilla whenever we play them. If he's asking, I love you, Danny. That's fucking dope. And, you know, we got our front line of Raheem, Bellingham, Rodrigo, and Mbappe, which is it's interesting when you see it lined up with Rodrigo on the left and Mbappe in the 9 role and Diaz on the right. Because Brahim Diaz, to call him a winger, I mean, if he's not just the ultimate half-space operator, I know he's quick, I know he likes to get on that outside and get crosses in and get little cutbacks in, but he is a master manipulator of that space in between center backs, in between the center back and the fullback, dropping into a little space, making a 5-yard run that breaks open the defense. And Jude put in a great game. I mean, he's just... People will act like if he's not scoring or assisting, that's the only time he will get the love. Oh, he's back, he's scoring, assisting. He's a very good player without the ball. And I know it, no one wants to watch Madrid, or if they do, they're hate watching, unless they're a fan. But anyone who's a neutral, they're not going to really appreciate what he does without the ball and the things he does to unlock our offense and stuff. It's so underrated. And Kylian Mbappe today, we can just start with the first goal. I mean, it's just like the one against Celta Vigo earlier in the season. It's beautiful. It's a great... the power is perfect. The dip is perfect. Sails right over the defense. I mean, I don't know how, as a defense, you can feel okay letting Mbappe and Jude Bellingham float around on the outside of the box like that, but you're asking for it. I mean, there's no other result except complete capitulation if you've got Jude Bellingham and Mbappe unmarked at the outside of your box, waiting for a pass to just slot one away. Great way to start the game. We needed to go early. I felt if we got to go early, Sevilla is probably going to crumble, with all due respect. And then you've got that second goal. What do I need to say? I mean, Fetty is world class. Fetty is. I can't rant about him enough. I mean, to have the composure to take that shot, no questions. He just lets it rip. That's the guy you want taking that shot, and that's the guy you have making that shot. No one will acknowledge his goal-scoring output. No one will acknowledge his assist acumen. I mean, he's putting in a shift. It's insulting. That's all Micah Richards has to say about him. Oh, Fede Valverde's a great player. Puts in a shift. What? This is one of the best players on our team with the ball. I don't care what you have to say. I know he had his flub a couple games ago that cost us the game. It happens. That happens. Every player has that. Every player has that. He is our most consistent player and our most complete player that we put out on the pitch consistently. That's not constantly injured. Then we can move to this Rodrigo goal. I mean, Lord Vasquez on the one-touch cross into the box. It's class. And then Rodrigo sliding it away, one touch as well. That is class. Rodrigo, the clock is ticking. There are going to be clubs lining up this January and this summer to take him off of our fucking hands because he has no business being on the bench for any team in the world. There's no team in the world right now that Rodrigo has any business being on the bench for. I mean, what he can do, what he has proven that he can do on both sides of the ball is tremendous. He's phenomenal. He has great skill when it comes to tracking the ball down, first touch, moving with the ball. His passing is good. Like, I wanted to say he could really work on it. I guess. I don't think he gives the ball away a ton. He's great at splitting the defense. He's great at making little runs. I could go on. There was times earlier in the season where I was 100%, and I still mean it based on what I saw that moment, calling for Mbappe to be benched for Rodrigo because he shows the hunger and he will press. Like, I know. This is unpopular. No one wants to do this. Hey, Mbappe, you have to press. There is not an option here. If you choose, it's not like you're not Vinny. You are not Vinny. You have not been grandfathered in to being that tolerated in terms of not giving any effort on a press, on a ride, on a counter, on trying to get the ball back after you lose it. I mean, again, I am not trying to make this an Mpubi video. It drives me up a wall when I see that because you have players. I mean, you have an Endrick, you have a Guler, you have these players that are willing to put everything on the field. And Mbappe has that beautiful goal in, the first goal. But Arda Guler has beautiful goals. Endrick scored a goal in the Champions League. These guys score goals, right? Anyway, not to take away from Rodrigo. Rodrigo, I think he was brilliant today. I loved his contribution. I like him as a threat. I like the way he links up with Jude, especially. I think their traits play well off each other. As far as that first goal we concede, it's just poor. I mean, there's not much else you can say. If we didn't have Rudiger, our defense would be calamitous. Rudiger is the only thing holding our defense together. I mean, we all see it. When you have to call up Raul Asensio, you have a problem on your hands, right? And Rudiger's constantly filling up the spaces. He's constantly moving the line with him. He's constantly telling people where he needs to be. If he was not a part of the defensive line for 24 of the 25 games or whatever that we've played this year, it would be complete crisis. We would not be close to competing in La Liga. Let's not even get started on Champions League because their defense hasn't even been good in that competition. Rudiger is the man. He's holding us together. Kamavinga looked great. I don't have much to say about the second goal that we concede. The two goals we concede, I'll just leave it at we look poor, and without Rudiger, our defense would be disastrous. In terms of that fourth goal, though, I already ranted about Brahim. I already talked about his exploits. this is a dude who can just finish plays. Like, I love him. I think he's a great player. Only 3 offsides today. I just am now seeing that now that I'm looking over the stats, and that's promising, like, comparatively. I mean, against Barcelona, we all remember that. That was horrendous. Good pass accuracy, 200 more passes than them. It's a good game. It is a good day to be a Madridista. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. I know this is my first video, and but we're here. And, yeah. Historia que tú hiciste, historia por hacer, porque nadie resiste tus